everyone, welcome. I'm Kat, and today I thought I'd review a little comic book that I've read a while ago. This is actually a script that I wrote ages ago and never recorded, but why throw out something that's perfectly good? Yeah, let's get started. So, this is a graphic novel called Be Prepared by Vera Brosgol. And if that name sounds familiar, that's because I already reviewed another comic book by her ages ago. I'll put a link somewhere. This video is going to be pretty short, but I haven't seen many people talking about this graphic novel, so I thought I might as well do a little ETBT review. So, Be Prepared follows Vera, a 9-year-old Russian girl from an immigrant family growing up in the United States. And even though she's not being bullied, her peers are not excluding her, being mean to her or anything, she always feels like she can't quite fit in. Her mom can't afford all the nice like snacks and toys and clothes that other girls in her class have. The other kids think the dishes her mom makes are weird because they're all based in Russian cuisine. All the other girls go to these fancy summer camps and talk about how much fun they're having there. And Vera's mom can't send her to any of those camps because she's a single mom and she just doesn't have enough money for that. So even though Vera is not being actively pushed away, she just constantly feels like an outsider. One day, Vera hears about the summer camp for Russian kids, and she thinks this is perfect. She'd finally go and have a summer camp experience. She'd be among kids who are all immigrants who are just like her, and since it's heaps cheaper than any other camps, her mom can actually afford it. So she convinces her mom to send her and her younger brother there. But when Vera gets to the camp, she discovers that it's not all that she imagined. As the first timer in the camp, she's still an odd one out. The other kids seem to know each other already, and they seem to know what to do or what to say and how the camp works. Everything in the camp is in Russian, and Vera speaks Russian really well, but she can't read it. So she gets side-eyed by the other kids. And in general, the tents and the mosquitoes and like the outdoor toilets and all that is just too much for a city kid. And in the end, even among the Russian kids, Vera finds it really hard to make friends. So the graphic novel follows Vera through her trials and tribulations in the camp and her efforts to fit in and make friends along the course of one summer. So as you can probably tell from that description, this is a very small, self-contained autobiographical story. It's based on the real events from Vera Brosgol's childhood. So obviously it's not going to have any fantastical elements like Anya's ghost. And from what she says in the afterword, most of the stuff in the novel did happen to her, even if it wasn't in the same order. So this is a really nice, sweet, and short standalone graphic novel. It's only 240 pages, and just like Anya's Ghost, I just really love its art style and its general atmosphere. The art has this deceptively simple look that makes this graphic novel very easy to read, and once I picked it up, I just didn't want to put it down until I finished it. The panels flow really well, the characters are super expressive, and I really loved its color palette. So Anya's Ghost had this nice blue grayish color palette that fitted the ghost story vibe. And this has this lovely yellowish sepia tones that give you that old photo vibe, which is exactly what an autobiographical novel needs. And on a personal note, I found this book to be painfully relatable in a couple of places. As you might be able to tell from my accent, I was also born in Russia. So I can most definitely relate to the experience of being a Russian immigrant, being dropped into a different culture as a child. And I definitely relate to feeling like an outsider and trying to fit in. And then realizing that no matter what you do, you're just gonna be different. It's funny how much your childhood affects you because at this point, I spent less time in Russia than I did in other places. But I guess they don't call it your formative years just for the sake of it. The culture that you soak in as a child just sticks with you for the rest of your life. And just like my accent, I don't think I'll ever be able to get rid of it. And now I'm just stuck talking funny. And then I also deeply related to that feeling that Vera gets when she first arrives at camp, that feeling of not being Russian enough when finally coming into contact with Russian culture. I never went to any summer camp like that, but I visited Russia in my teens after being away for a good few years and just felt so out of place throughout the whole visit. And then it really hit me that I was not Russian enough for Russia, but too Russian for any other place, which is a very odd feeling to have. It's like you're stuck in between. and you don't really belong anywhere. Yeah, so Vera Brosgol did a great job at capturing that feeling. Another thing I found interesting in the novel was to read about the Russian community in the States and just how religious it seems to be, or at least that's how it's described in the novel. And I found it really interesting because growing up in Russia, I remember how non religious everything was. There was a church in my city, but I don't remember any of us ever going there. And I'm pretty sure my parents were firmly atheist. So it's really interesting to see how the community in the States seem to be centered about the Orthodox Russian Church. So I'd usually talk about plot and characters here, but it feels funny to talk about that when the novel is based on real events and people. I think I'll just wrap up this video here and say that I really enjoyed this graphic novel. It was really interesting and fun read. I even got kind of emotional in places, but that's just because I found it more relatable than other people might. Still, I think if you like graphic novels and you happen to see it somewhere, definitely give this a go. It has a very cute art style and a very calm and nice feel to it. And that's gonna be it from me for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope everyone's having a lovely, lovely day, night, or any other time of the day. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.